lights, camera, shenanigans. Hi, I'm Steve from 1233D. Today we shall be resuming part 2 of the toy factory build. Right, so I've opened up the conveyor belt assembly guide. I have pretty much got the bits that I think I need to construct the conveyor belt. So we shall proceed to part 3. So part 3 is asking me to pop this little gizmo, which has 2 little dovetail joints, into here with no glue. And would you look at that, as if by magic. It's like we planned this. Slide in, no glue. Don't glue that in place. I don't know why, whether it needs to be free for adjustment or whatnot, I'm not sure. Okay, so now it's asking for the motor. So here is the motor. I bought the motor from Make World. Very quick, very cheap, and it came with this little doobly, which is a USB speed controller. So we can basically up the production of Santa's elves. We can turn them up to turbocharged, or we can snail pace them. Now that doesn't look right to me. What is occurring? I don't know, it will be right. I don't know how it holds in, but I guess we'll find out. Right, hold the motor in position as you are securing it in place. No glue. So basically I've got to sit here and hold it in place. That is why. So then next we take this part and we pop it over there like so. And then we get one of these little jobbies and we screw it down like that. So flip it around so you can see. That should be what you have. We've secured that down. Now we have a little geared wheel. We've got an assortment of geared wheels. Some have holes and little dowels on. We have a double one, and we have this one that has a hexagonal hole in the middle. But this little infill piece that has a hole in the centre of that is actually the same as the output shaft on the motor. So what it wants us to do is glue this into there. So yeah, I've glued in the part, and then it wants us to basically put that over the shaft. Pay attention to the key shape and no glue. So no glue again. So you've basically got 2 flats in a circle. They line up with the motor shaft like that. So it just slides on. It is loose, but imagine when the belt's on, which we're going to do next, it should hold everything into place. We have this, which apparently goes in there. Hold this part in place, no glue. So I'll do this back to front. So on this belt, we have the little raised edges at the front. Pop it on that bottom wheel, and then on there, and in there. Match the belt teeth with the gear, which we have. You need to be an octopus. Hold in place, hold in place. So you hold that, and then put another one in here. Oh, there we go. Relief. Stay. Next. I've done that. Match with the gear. Do not glue. So I think that goes in there. And then we take a little screw and screw that into the back of that one. I will spin it around so you can see in a minute. I need another one of those, apparently, which I have here. I think they are actually identical, so that's fine. So, no, stay. Oh, cracked it. Not literally. Look, I have made a boo-boo. So spin this one off. Because apparently the teeth on the other belt need to go to the front as well. Right, so teeth on the belt. Face the front. Don't make the same mistake as I did, because it will cause you frustration, anxiety and swearing. And if you're doing this with the children, that wouldn't be good. In my own words, I have adapted and overcome. We have now the belt's routed the correct way round. Everything appears to be golden. And it says finished. Important. Wait to use these. As from the previous assembly, we shall now carefully pop that in there. This little angle bracket fits in there, and then we secure it down with the little knob. Screwed together. Toys. Let's get out the toys. Dan, I'm disappointed. He didn't segregate the bows. So if you're doing this at home, it's worth taking note. These little tiny pieces, put them in a little bag or a box where you can find them very quickly and easily, instead of scrambling through a full box of hundreds of pieces. It's like building Lego without the logo. I have bows. I have teddy bears. I have more bows. These teddy bears could be a challenge. Right, I think that will do us. So, we have presents. We have trains. We don't have any planes. We have more presents. We have teddy bears in 2 halves. So what I shall do to start with is start gluing the bows to the presents. So basically we have a little hole, the bow glues in like so. So these are quite easy. A little spot of glue, a little bit of glue, pop in the present.
A few moments later.
So, off camera, because it's very, very boring, you want to watch me glue them all together. But basically what I've done is all of the presents I have glued the bows to. The little itty bitty brown teddy bears I have glued together. So, clip on with no glue. So in said belt, you have a series of holes. So all we need to do is, he says, put your finger under it, basically give you a bit of pressure, and proceed to just pop on the presents to the belt. You don't fill every hole. I have some spares, so you can fill it up more if you want to. I think that will do. Apparently, I don't need that for the moment. I need lots of windows, and there is an awful lot of windows. I mean, I've got stained glass for days. So I am now on. I'm on wall construction. So let me zoom in, make the picture as large as I can, because there is a couple of different variations. So that is, according to my pictures in front of me, that side, then this is that side, and that would be that side. Here we have the walls. We have pre-glued on the wallpaper, which is effectively the brick cladding. Now you've got a couple of different options within the files for this. You can print them in place. So if you've got a 3D printer with an AMS unit or whatever, you can print them as one, so you don't have to glue them on. Or you can do as we did, print them separately and then glue them on, because we wanted to demonstrate that you don't need a fancy or singing or dancing machine to print this. You can print it off a standard 3D printer and just perform layer changes to get your colour change effects. That is all these are. They are not AMS prints or CFS prints or Ace Pro prints or Prusa XL multi-tool head prints. They are layer changes, nothing more. I thought it was very worthwhile mentioning that, because people may look at it and think, I can't print that, I haven't got a multicolour printer. You really don't need one. Okay, so we have some glue and glue. So basically now what we need to do is glue all of these pieces together. So I will remove that one, and for the benefit of the viewers at home, I will start here so you can see. So basically I put a little bead down the back edge. I'm going to put a little bead down the other edge and then pop them together like so. Give that a spray, hold it for a couple of seconds, bosh. Then I'll do the same with this one. So a little bead of glue there. And then I just repeat the same on this bit. Like that. Now we have some big marble columns. It's always a good sign when the box is becoming empty. As you can see, we have a little nib and a little nib at the top, and then on your columns you have the female variants. So male, female. So all I'm going to do, I'll dry fit first just to make sure. So dry fit, fits into place, perfect. So all I'll do now is put a little bead straight down the back of it, pop that on, hold it in place, give it a spray, and it hasn't stuck. Hold more. I might need more glue. If you are gluing the cladding on, maybe glue the cladding on after you put the pillars in place, because the very, very close tolerance between the edges of the cladding and the column. This one I'll try a different tack. I will spray. That's the way to do it. So you're guaranteeing by doing it this way that you've actually got the spray on the surface, which makes it a little bit easier. And then the front, which is this part, has slight variations. So we have 2 for the outside edges, and then we have some shorter ones. Again, if you look at the back, they're keyed at the bottom, and then you've got these 2 little nibs on the top edge. So therefore, either side of the door, apparently. So I shall glue those on and show you the finished result. We've not glued anything to the table yet. It's quite a feat. Okay, so that is what you should look like on the front. So front, side, back, the other side on these. Okay, so we now have these corner pillars. Now, as you can see on these, there is a little coping stone sticking out on all 4 of these, and these need to be to the base, and if you look, they line up with the little coping stone that is in between the cladding. So for these, again, I will put a bead of glue straight in the corner. I will then spray on my part, and then very, very carefully, making sure it's flush at the bottom, get that lined up and glue in place like so. So we just continue to repeat that for the rest of the other 3 corners. Santa's guards.
They called Nutcracker.
Nutcracker, I mean, yeah, could be. How they became nutcrackers, I don't know, because they look to me like soldiers. Alrighty. We have nutcrackers, according to Chris. He is the man in the know. Oh dear. Right, next up, a lot of windows and doors. Doors and windows. So, I'll start with this one, which goes in straight in the front. Right. So, I will lay it down because that's going to be the best way to get it glued in neatly. It's very tricky doing this, you're upside down. Like that. So, I will continue to glue in all the windows and we will show you the results once I have completed that.
2,000 years later.
Right. I shall give you a quick overview of where we're up to and what we've done. So, we have glued in the windows. We have also glued in the front door frame and the marble stone surround. And I've glued together the 2 parts for the little chimney out the side. And we now need to glue this piece on top of there. So I will put a bit of glue on, give the base of my chimney a bit of a spray. And there we have said chimney. I have some smoke. So same thing. I'll put a bit of glue on one, spray the other very carefully. Try and get these. Oh, smoke. There we go. And that is that one done. I need the other part back. Please, can I have my other part back, sir? Oh. So my motor cable, I will fish that through there. And then what it wants us to do, I shall stand for this. We need to lift. All hail the toy factory. It appears to be that the next parts of the assembly are going to be on the roof. Okay, so we shall slide that aside. We shall get the parts that I think we shall need for the roof. I think that is it. I hope. Right. Anyway, first things first. Oh, well, they're very snug. I don't think we need to glue that. So they're opposite dovetail joint. You have to twist them into place. It says slide and twist to engage the part and glue. I mean, I don't know about glue because they are very snug. I'm not going to glue it. If you choose to glue yours, that's absolutely fine. But as you can see, this is pretty well together. And for where it actually goes on the model, it isn't going to take any real force. So that's for the static version. So with your part that way around, you have these 2 covers, which go there and there. And then we have this, which fits in between those. Before I do go and tackle it with glue and just spin that around, we have this little nice edge print, which fits in there. I'm happy with all of that. So I will now double back, taking each piece out one by one and glue them in place. So a little tip when you're doing this, as you see me there when I basically ledged it on the back and then lowered it into place. It just makes sure that you get it lined up correctly before you just like try and stick it in and not quite line it up fully. Because once you put the spray on it, it will be very, very hard to get it apart again because it will go off instantly on contact. Bit of a handy tip. Railings. Again, I'm just going to drop in dry fit everything first because the last thing I'd want to do at this point is make a boo-boo. So, what I just noticed on these, I would suggest starting at the front. So in that little channel, get your bead of glue in there, pop that in, then work round because the other parts have got a little key, as you can see on the end, which slots into the back of the other. And then the back one, you can slide down over the top of it. Happy with that? Now I'll give that a quick. So yeah, if you haven't glued the roof together, like I didn't, you're basically bridging everything with glued parts anyway. So I don't think it's that critical at all. Especially if you've got a tight fitting print like we have. And this one I'll do the same again. I'll pop the glue in that bit there first. Make sure everything's in place. And again, give it a quick spray. We now have the railings. I think these will only go one way around. Like so. So they just drop into place. Again, I'm just checking everything fits because it's not been dry assembled at all. So I want to make sure that everything's right before gluing anything. And there we have the chimneys, folks. Lost a bit of skin. So I've glued this little funnel, which pops in there. So I'll put a little bit of glue in there. Bosh. And we've got these pipe. I don't know what's going on with Santa's chimneys, but he's doing a lot of smoke recirculation. It's like almost like he's recirculating exhaust gases for a turbo. Perhaps that's what speeds the elves up. I don't know. I mean, you're not telling me that's protecting the environment. So what he's doing is he's taking the smoke out and he's forcing it back in, choking the elves into submission. More smoke. Oh, okay. So I'll move that aside for 1 second. So we need this piece and the golden pillars. And basically we're going to glue pillars on like so. And then there is a little recess there, which it should pop into like so. So again, just dry fitting before applying the glue. And then, and then we have lots of these to attach. So that one literally just slots in the front. So I've stood it on a blue roll, because as you can see, the little baubles or whatever they are hang down over the sides of the roof. So it just made it easier to glue those on. And all of the little baubles are keyed on the back and they'll meet on a mating surface. On the other side, that has a little stud. So you can't really go wrong with that aspect. Let me find where I am now up to in the scale of the grand construction. Lewis, please may I have the workshop? Would you believe it? It fits. So we have to glue these two chimney pieces together. And I wouldn't recommend gluing these in case you need to lift the lid off to perform any maintenance. So you just take your time, make sure everything's lined up as you want it before you hit it with the spray. Because there ain't no going back, guys. And there is only so much that we can adapt and overcome. And we have one tiny final touch. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not sure how this is gonna go. There seems to be more bits for his car than anything else. What are all these? I'm literally building a car. Where's the instruction manual for the car assembly? Not there. Delivery van. Sorry, it's not a car, it's a delivery van. Or should I say delivery trike. It only has 3 wheels. First of all, here is the cab. No, I'm bad. This is the cab with side windows. Next up, we have a chassis and an axle. So the axle, and this is a car axle, not Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses. All right, so that is a loose fit. So I'm going to put a little blob of glue in there, he says. I think I have a bit too much glue in there. So I'll put a bit of glue in the other one. Ooh, and carefully pop the other. Is that on? It's just worth noting here. Don't glue the wheels to the chassis. And then we have the number plate, which pops on the back. That fits fine. And that all around. So I'll put a bit of glue in there. Yeah, some little headlights. So don't do it that way. I was like, why is this wheel going to go on upside down? It's not a good look. I'm sure Santa could fix it. Then we have a front wheel with his little rod, which, ooh, does need a tiny spot of glue. We're winning Santa's mudguards. It's interesting. I have the blob of death on my super glue. I don't anymore. Just a blob of doom. It's got mudguards. Woo! A bit of the cab. The little slot in the top. Just a little bit of glue in there. And then his little door. Push that tab into where you've just put the glue. A spray. And then the final part of the puzzle. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Santa's toy factory. So, I would just like to say that it has been a pleasure to build this. It has been a joy. But you are unfortunately going to have to wait for the grand reveal when we actually turn on the Christmas lights. So please be sure to like, subscribe and share so you don't miss the grand Christmas light turn on. But yeah, if you've got any questions regarding this model, how we produce the model, or any of the materials that we use to print this model, please do ask in the comments box below. We have linked to everything in the description that we've used along the way. We'll also put links for Baker World so you can get the motor and whatever else. Go and buy the parts from there. It's easier. The model is designed to take those parts, so it will make the whole assembly process a lot easier if you do. But Hope you've enjoyed the video. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye for now.
As always, we aim to have the most competitive 3D printer prices on the market. If you see any of our printers being sold by a mainstream retailer for less, please drop us an email using the link in the description and we'll do our very best to beat their price. Also, if you're watching from outside the UK, check the description for links to our European 123 3D sister stores.